This is Road to the Golden Door, where we unpack the proven success formula straight from the minds of Golden Door winners, uncovering the motivation, methods, and the mindset it takes to become an elite performer in door-to-door sales and in life. This is Road to the Golden Door. Now, here's your host, Mikey Lucas.
What's up? It's Mikey Lucas. Welcome back to Road to the Golden Door. I've got an awesome guest here today, a four-time Golden Door Award winner, Erik Salazar. He hails out of Tucson, Arizona. The dude's an absolute gangster, and there is some interesting stuff you're going to hear from Erik today. Some very, very non-traditional way to get Golden Doors. 4 of them in a row, back to back to back to back. 4 Pete. Erik, welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, thank you, Mikey, for having me.
Of course, brother. Of course, man. I know that we've been meaning to get this show on the road for the last I guess since we started, and you're one of the first guys I hit up and was like, "Hey, bro, I want to have you on the show. I really respect you." So, Erik and I met at an event. Erik was in the Circle Mastermind, Sam Taggart's mastermind years ago, with my companies and Erik's companies, and we just hit it off. There was just an energy about you, Erik, that I was like, man, this guy's, you could just tell, one, he's trustworthy, he's a hustler, he gets after it, and he's not a frat boy that knocks on doors. Nothing against frat boys that knocks on doors, because I love those guys. Some of those guys are my homies, but it just was different. I like to pick the brain of people that are slightly older than me. And what, you're like 32 years old, Erik?
Yep,
perfect. You've been installing with Titan, your company, Power America. Tell me. You had 187 installs last year, 167 the year before that, and you do not knock on doors.
No.
You do not knock on doors.
Nope.
That is outstanding. So, guys, listen up. If you're looking for alternative ways to create leads, this is going to be a really good show. I'm going to do my best for everyone, all the listeners, to pull out as much as I can out of Erik. Erik, obviously, we're extremely grateful and that you're going to be generous with your time. So, for everybody that doesn't know Erik Salazar, who is Erik Salazar?
Well, I'm just like you, somebody that has a dream, somebody that wants to have a good life, has a family, and had the opportunity to get introduced to solar, because obviously this is why we're here. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about solar. Solar is a huge part of my life. It's something that I wake up every morning to and go to bed every night to, because I'm taking advantage of this opportunity to support myself, my family, and help others, grow and become, how could I say it? I would have to say, help become a stronger individual in the community and be able to be financially set, which, a lot of people, including myself at one time, not being financially set, it seems like so many things are affected by that, and it affects your life and it affects your personal life, your family life. So I figured, look, right now I'm going to bury my head into the ground and get in the trenches and just earn as much income as possible and do a really good job at this solar game and be able to be self-sufficient with my income and be able to be stable for the future. So right now you're going to hear a lot about, solar, myself, I have a 10-year-old son. I live in Tucson, Arizona, born and raised in Arizona, come from a Hispanic background. Mom and dad Hispanic, speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I wish I would have learned. But yeah, I'm pretty much an ordinary guy, just like most of us out here. So
awesome. So, what's funny is you were telling me earlier that we're shooting this currently in January and 2023, and you're like, "Yo, I'm taking my son snowboarding." It's really funny because when you said that, I'm sure people think the same exact thing when they say when I'm from Vegas. I live in Houston now, but when I'm in Las Vegas and I go, yeah, we're going snowboarding 45 minutes away. You told me you're going to take your son snowboarding today. There's actually snow out there.
Oh yeah, we have a mountain called Mount Lemon here. It's about 45 minutes from the house, and They have a couple ski lifts, and it's a great trail. And so we're in the desert too. I'm looking outside. I got a bunch of cactus all over my yard and stuff like that. I showed you this morning, so it's pretty cool to have that different climate.
Yeah, nice to have a nice cup of Joe with you this morning, brother. Good.
Yeah, cheers to you, Mikey. By the way, thank you for putting the show together. I was watching your show last night, several shows, and it was outstanding. I was like, well, I got to share this with everybody because there's a lot of good nuggets out there. I even complimented one of your guests that you had, Michael Schmelzer, and he was like, I told him, dude, you dropped some nuggets, and he was like, thank you, I appreciate that. It was a great time doing this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've actually went back and watched. I went back and watched, I think, Michael's like 3 or 4 times, and I don't know what it was about his show, but there was something that like clicked that I was like, holy crap, this dude. Not trust me, everybody that obviously gets on this show, that gets qualified to get on the show, has to be the top 1%, basically of the top 1% to be able to even get on this show. You have to hit a golden door. You have to have hit a golden door. You've hit 4 golden doors. And Michael hit 2. He's going to hit 3. He'll be a platinum golden door this year. You're gonna be a diamond. I'm gonna call Sam and tell him that a 5-year row in a row needs to be a diamond. Sam, I've got some pull with Sam, so I'm gonna tell Sam. Listen, bro, let me tell you something. All right, we're gonna do this.
Nice.
I actually, speaking of which, was really pulling for setters to get golden doors. So this year we can get setters to get golden doors. That worked out really well. So. But yeah, dude, Michael's an outstanding. He's a client of ours, an investor of in our energy fund, and he's just a dear friend. He is good people, man. Really want that dude to win. So I'm excited to have you on, dude. 4 freaking golden doors, dude. My gosh, pretty wild.
Yeah, it's a journey. I remember my first one. I didn't even count the numbers. I didn't even understand what 100 kilowatts, I think at the time it was. I didn't even know what that meant. At the end of the year, our company had a party, and they're like, "Hey, you got this award. You're going to stage." I was like, "What?"
I remember that you were so happy. You were so happy, dude. I remember I was there for that, and I remember exactly. You were so like giddy and just happy, like, wow, dude, I'm a star. It's just like you made it. You got the recognition. I got the recognition. It was really. Oh, I remember it. Trust me. It was. You felt. I could tell your energy was like, I feel like I don't belong here. But that's when Erik finally. I don't know what you did before. Solar, but you finally started. You found your niche, bro. Finally at the young ripe age of 32 years old, you found your niche, and you've not hit miss since then. So, and it was 1,000 kilowatts installed then, and it's obviously more than that now. It'll be 200 this year the way that you do it. So I'm excited to see and hear kind of your strategy now, because we've had to change. My plan is to have 25 guys on stage this year within my programs. And I'm kind of interested to hear how you're going to change that, because I know that you don't personally do door to door. And then at that point, the same concept or same kind of questions around potentially we can get to, if you want, around like referrals, so like that. I've got a referral software called Golden Door Formula, and I want to kind of understand how you're pulling referrals from what you're doing, because I actually used to do what you're doing. I remember we had talked about that a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
And I've done that, so I'm excited to talk about that. And if you can't tell, Erik, I'm leading the audience because I want them to be like leaning in right now. So that's a Mikey Lucas sales trick right there. You're like, what the heck is he talking about? All right, Erik, let's go back to your son really quick. Your son's 10 years old. What's his name?
His name is Eriksson. I actually just heard him wake up right now, so he might pop his head in the door. But his name is Eriksson.
Nice. Is he taller than you?
The best thing that's ever happened to me.
I love that. How tall is he? 10 years old. He's got to be 6'3" by now.
He's pretty tall. He's a tall boy. Yeah.
How tall are you? You're like what? 6'4", 6'3"?
6'3".
Yeah, dude. You're a monster. It's very easy to see you on stage. Let me. You said some stuff here that I kind of want to go through. obviously not being a 20-year-old, you've gone through some seasons. You saw the '08 crash. You saw you were obviously a little bit older than me in the 99 and 2000 tech burst. And then obviously we just went through the everything bubble in 2020, 2021. So I know that we were talking in your gym yesterday. You're really big into real estate, really trying to get financially stable. Tell me a little bit about the struggles that you've had prior to, or let me actually direct it this way. I want to talk to you about the struggles you had, because were you making this much money prior to solar?
It's a great question, Mikey. I was for a while. I was in a really unique industry before solar. I happened to get into the cannabis industry nice. When it popped off here in Arizona. It became a medical. Myself and another buddy, we opened up about 5 certification centers to get people licensed to have a medical marijuana card. And then it eventually opened up, about 6 different clubs providing that medicine. And it went great for like 2 years. Tons of cash, tons of money. Didn't understand yet at that point on how to save and spend it properly. I think a big part of that was me being single, not being a dad, and so forth. So, and then eventually, at that time, cannabis was not 100% legal. It was still very controversial. These days, it's like dispensaries are everywhere. Everybody's like, it's not a big deal. Well, back then, it was a big deal.
Is it recreationally legal in Arizona yet?
Yeah, now it is. Yep. At the time when I was in it, it was medical, and they didn't have dispensaries at the time, even though people had cards. So we ended up deciding to start, providing it in clubs, and we blew up. And then 2 years later, got arrested, shut everything down, seized my vehicles.
By the feds or by the state?
It was a organization. So the border patrol was involved. So that was like the closest that the feds were involved with. It wasn't like the FBI or anything. Yeah. And again, it was a blessing in disguise, like everything is. So just
they took everything.
Yeah, just stripped everything away, and ended up just having to figure out what am I going to do with my life again. I built this up, and got everything taken away. Never had my vehicle, my bank account, never had that taken away from me before. And so
they stripped everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just said that twice, but that is wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. And, threw my face all over the news, and, it just was disappointing. And, but the point being is I had a really close friend of mine. He saw that I was like, just not really, doing well financially. I was just kind of, I had a little savings that I had on the side, mattress money, whatever.
I was going to say stuffed in a bucket, stuffed in a can, in a paint can below the ground.
It was a small can. Yeah, it was very little, but I was able to, still kind of keep the bills paid. And then one of my buddies was, a real famous realtor. And he was like, Eric, I just made like, X amount of money, referring, my customers to this company called Solar City, and they're paying me, $1,000 a pop. And I just made, again, a good chunk of money. He's like, have you ever considered looking into solar? And I was like, no, I haven't. He's like, you should. And I was like, man, solar, what? I don't even know what that's about. It sounded really cool. And I like the idea that, this dude is not even doing it, and he's making like way more money than I had at the time. And he's not really doing much other than referring his customers. So immediately
back then, if you would have knocked on a door and got a referral for $100, that'd been more than I would have made as a setter at Solar City.
Yeah.
So, a super ambassador.
Well, they were paying, $1,000 a pop at the time to like referral people, like ambassadors, like you said. So, anyways, I jumped on the Craigslist, I think at the time, and just looked up, employers for solar. Found this company out of Vegas at the time, and he actually was a dealer through Titan. and he came down to Arizona. He was hiring people in Phoenix, so I went and met them up there, and obviously he recruited me. And he's like, "How are you going to get customers?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't even understand this yet. I'm learning. I need to figure it out before I can, feel comfortable selling it." So he's like, "All right, just do a training. I want to put you on the doors." I'm like, "What do you mean doors?" He's like, "Yeah, you're going to go just educate homeowners by knocking on their door and, showing them their options." And I was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." I mean, at that time, I was pretty much flat broke. And he was, the only thing I saw was professional solar company. This guy was, very successful out of Vegas. At the time, Vegas was popping. And he was already expanding to Phoenix. I was like, wow, great company. They're multi-states, so forth. So I remember the first day I went door knocking with this gentleman, and literally he had me watch him knock on 3 or 4 doors, listen. And then he's like, "You get that street over there. I'm going to go on this street. I'll meet you at the very end." And I remember it was so embarrassing. I'll be straight up with you guys. I knocked on 1 door. The dude was a dick. And he was like, "Get out of here." And then I literally walked down the whole street, and I didn't knock on any doors. I was just admiring how beautiful the houses were. And I was like, wow, I want to have a house like this and a house like that. I love that car. And I was just daydreaming down that road the whole way down. And I ended up meeting the dude on the very end of the street. And I lied to him. I said I knocked on doors and no success. And it was just, at that time, I knew I hated it. So, for 6 months, I tried it a few more times, and I didn't make any sales. It was just, for me, it was kind of like just burying myself, digging myself deeper and deeper into this money pit of bills. And, I was like, I'm going to just put solar on my house. I can make a couple $1,000 commission. That'll keep me going for a little bit. And then, I'm going to be a customer because it makes sense. Financially, it made sense. So I ended up putting solar on my house through Sunrun. I did a lease because I didn't have any income at the time. And back then they required income verification. So I did a Sunrun lease, and I remember, staying home for the site survey, watching the tech get on my roof, asking them questions. I needed roof repairs. So I remember going through the process of meeting with the roofer, getting a quote through, my company's roofing company to get, my roof repaired before the solar. And then I was there for the day of the installation and there the day of PTO. And I really went through that process and I loved it. And I believe that was, July, mid-year. And from that point, I remember something just switched. I went back to my basics of when I used to be a loan officer, back in 2006, 2007. I remember having to cold call realtors all day, asking them, "Hey, can I work on a loan? Would you give me a chance to do a loan for one of your homeowners?" And just trying to gain that trust. And it was really difficult, but you would call 100 people, you might get one person. So it works. You just got to put the reps in. So I remember saying, look, I'm going to start calling real estate agents. I'm going to see if that works. And then from July to December, from zero to July, and then from July to December, I think I earned around 100. I believe it was $179,000 in commissions. Completely changed my life. I was blown away by the amount of money coming in. First of all, in terms of installs and kilowatts, none of that mattered to me. I didn't even count it like that or look at how many installs I get or how many kilowatts did I close. It wasn't really about that. It was just how much income did I make this week and what was my total number for this 6 months. And I was blown away. I was all right, I made $179,000. I worked in this industry for 6 months. I pretty much didn't do anything but waste time, waste money, and just ruin my self-confidence on the doors. And I figured out this little mini solution, which was working with real estate agents. What else can I do? Is there any other, potential things that I'm good at? And I was like, well, I'm good with real estate agents. Maybe I might be good with loan officers. So, the following year, I ended up teaming up with a company called Sun Solar Solutions, which still worked for my parent company, Titan Solar Power, and was, introduced to a couple people. Probably a lot of people know Michael Donald and, Troy and Val, and they just completely showed me this, professional side of solar on, taking it to that next level of, being relentless, making sure that I'm compliant, ready at the door, in the home, I'm ethical, and I'm following the rules. I'm looking out for the customer's best interest to, managing that customer all the way to install, making sure that they're not going to back out and, cancel their contract with me. So I learned a great deal from that team. And, I believe I went from, 179,000. Again, I'm not looking at kilowatt hours or installs, but it just, for me at the time, it was really more important about how much income am I bringing in. And it just skyrocketed, it just fourfold, that second year, almost hitting like 800,000 in commissions. And then, it just kept climbing year after year. Now I'm on my fourth year. And I've gotten better at what I do. I've learned to teach other people to just mimic what I do and see them successful. And at the same time, I'm earning a little piece of what they bring to the table, obviously, because, we're a team. And it's been an amazing journey from, like I said before, from having my vehicle taken away from me, which is like something I never dreamed of, to being able to get this opportunity from a friend, which is literally an angel in my mind, and having him encourage me to try something that I didn't know what I was getting myself into, from not making any money for 6 months, walking down the street, had to lie to the dude that was training me and tell him I knocked on doors because my heart was not in it. My self-confidence was all the way to the floor, to just going deep within myself and saying, look, I'm going to do it on my house. If I'm going to be in this game and take it seriously, I need to become a customer, and studying that process, being hands-on with it, and then figuring out what would work for me, which was real estate agents, and then taking that all the way to a point where it really just rebounded my confidence and it rebounded my bank account. And then again, it took me to a level where now I got to work with, all-stars like Michael Donald.
Interesting. What a story, dude. Wow.
Yeah, I don't really share that often. It's kind of an embarrassing story, but
bro, that is not an embarrassing story at all. That's an outstanding story.
Well, it is, because sometimes I've had customers. Now it's kind of buried in social media and all that crap's buried it behind, but back in the day, customers would look me up and say, let me see who this guy is. I mean, I'm signing an $80,000 contract with them, and my freaking mugshot comes up, and I've lost deals over it. So it's something that I definitely don't like people seeing, especially customers.
Yeah, there's definitely times. I understand what you're talking about. There's definitely times where I don't. One of my old business partners really used to tell me, like, "Hey, man, don't start off what you're talking about with people with I used to be a drug addict. Don't do that." And I go, I understand in certain cases where that's the case. For instance, I always tell people, and I go, look. For instance, a lot of our, here's a little sales tip. A lot of our guests are LDS Mormon. And if I were to go and talk to their office right off the bat, right off the rip, be like, what's up? I'm Mikey Lucas. I'm 11 years sober. They would almost, no offense, they would almost discredit me right away. So I don't, and I learned that from him. He's like, you need to not talk about that. And I go, no. This is my story. Like, this is the reason why I keep pushing. Like, I can't not, it's got to come up one way or the other. So in other words, instead of starting off with the rip, I got busted by the feds, for yourself. Maybe it's just, hey, look, dude, this is where I'm at now. This is, don't look at the last look at the last 4 years of my life. This is where I'm at. This is what I stand for. This is where I came from, though. This is, the resurrection story, if you will. It's a really big, from the biblical days to even Hollywood today. It's a big, America is for the comeback story, Erik. So I think you've, obviously there's the embarrassment side there, but I think the last 4 years have proven that that's not who you are. You want to be a great father to your son. You're especially when you're talking about ethical sales. I think one of the most ethical companies out there is Michael Donald's company, Sun Solar Solutions. They don't even allow, at that time, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't even allow guys to sell over $3 a watt. Now,
yeah, at the time they didn't. I think I helped change that. But
well, I mean, like, obviously, if there's like, batteries or whatever, batteries or roofs or whatever, stuff like that. But the solar, they would stop you, everyone at $3 a watt, and you still made, $500,000 to a little over $1 million a year doing that. And it's a really cool way to sell. So anyways, the story stuff, man, it's interesting to hear a lot of the guys on here, and I'm glad that, and that's kind of what the cool part about the show is, that I've leveraged my influence, my credibility, and my authority inside the industry to get guys like yourself to tell us your story. And most guys, I've heard that quite a few times. I don't tell people that. I don't talk about that. And I really appreciate you trusting me and obviously my team and the show to be able to talk about that, because guess what, Erik? There's somebody that's listening to this show that's a Golden Door Award winner that went through something close to that same thing, and they want to be encouraged, man. So I appreciate it. And that's why I told you I use the podcast, my social media, as a platform for my weaknesses. And so I'm very open about it. And I think you actually messaged me like 6 months ago, and I was like, today is a really crappy day. I do not want to be here, but yeah, I'm here anyway. Screw it. It's like, I don't have those days very often, but they do happen. And what do I do? Which is a conversation that people like to have with me a lot is, what do I do when I get knocked down? So, well, obviously, I'd love to talk about that with you, because you got a lot more experience than me. I've never hit a 4-time Golden Door Award winner. So that is, you've obviously got a lot more, experience than I do. So, let me ask you this really quickly. I know your son's obviously super important to you. I want to kind of figure out the motivation behind that. You told me, you said, Mikey, I wanted to bury my head in the ground and just get after it. Is that because you're coming out of almost like I guess you could say a party season of your life, and now you're like, hey, I'm gonna bury my head down, I'm gonna figure this thing out? I mean, you pretty much, it kind of sounds like you were like, hey, this isn't, no, don't get me wrong. I don't want to glorify the fact that you were messing around or partying or whatever, because that's not what I'm talking about here. And I also don't believe that people need to be backed into a corner to, pull their crap out, put their head back on straight. But that's what it sounds like for you. So in this case, your quote unquote, rock bottom was, hey man, everything was taken from you. Now, again, not everybody on the show, not everybody listening to the show, that obviously hasn't happened to everybody on the show. But that was your pivotal moment. That was your I guess you could say the vantage point for the changing of your life. So tell me a little bit about why you buried your head in the ground. And I'm assuming that something has to do with, obviously the financial stability, but your son, walk me through that first year you hit Golden Door, where your head was at, where your heart was at. How did you problem solve, and where were you out there?
I don't even know if I have the answer to that question, Mikey. When I said that, it's because, we all live on this, sense of urgency in the industry. I even had a customer the other day tell me, I always hear from you guys. I've been looking at solar for a couple of years, and I always hear from you guys. There's always a deadline, And I'm like, he's right. We live off these deadlines. And I remember from when I first started, here in Arizona, specifically Tucson, Sunrun pulled out of the market for almost a year. And I remember that was my bread and butter. I was 98% leases. And I was like, wow, this company's pulling out. Shit, I'm going to need to find another job. I'm going to need, I'm doing so well, and I'm going to lose this flow of money coming in, and, this new lifestyle that I have. And so it was I just need to take advantage of this opportunity before it goes. And I'm just going to put everything in. and, and then I can, live off those, fruits and rewards down the road. So I just kept that mentality. I never let it go. And it's not easy. Like we had a quick little conversation earlier that, we still have a lot of, issues within our own lives, whether it's, family, self-doubt, lack of confidence, personal health issues. There's all these things that, come at us that we don't really have full control over. And so I've just learned to keep my job in its own little bubble. And no matter what happens to me on the outside, I know that I still have to perform because I want to take advantage of this opportunity and know that at the end, when this is over, that I don't regret not putting 100% of my efforts into it, because I know, because I've already had 4 years worth of experience, that this right here is going to be the wave to take me in the future to be able to be financially set, be able to be proud of what I do, and then also to meet amazing people like you and others, along this journey. So when I say I bury my head and get into the trenches, it's because I have to. I can't put myself out where, this morning I woke up at 4:30 feeling amazing. I had to force myself, not to stay in bed because, it was just like comfortable, but I'm like, I don't even want to be here. I'm going to get up. I'm going to start doing things. And, I want to have a great, successful day. I'm going to have this podcast with my homie Mikey. I'm going to have a nice, healthy breakfast. I'm going to go snowboarding today, have a blast. We're going to close some deals. When I get back home, I know we're going to have a handful of deals that have signed up. And what a great day. And then, I have a great week ahead of us. We're going to Cali. We're doing a huge blitz out there right now. It's just such a fun job that why would I not take this so serious? Why would I not take advantage of this opportunity? And again, it's a choice. We all have choices. And I have a bunch of buddies that are like, last night they're like, Eric, let's go out. Let's go have some fun. And, thankfully I do have an anchor. I have a son that I have to report to. He's, like I said earlier, he's probably walking around the house. He has, some family and friends over here. And so right now he's a huge anchor. I use him as a source of inspiration and a source of discipline, to be able to say no to those fun moments out there with friends and so forth. And, a lot of friends are, they make like 100 G's a month and they're out there popping bottles. I forgot what it feels like popping bottles. I haven't popped a bottle in a minute. But, I had a friend last night. He's like, man, we popped a bottle. They're in Vegas. We popped a bottle. We had fun. There's some celebrities with us. And I was like, that sounds like fun, but it sounds like a lot of trouble. And it also will take me off track because I know that I can just put myself and focus on this for a few more years. And in a few more years, you already know the income, and I'm pretty sure most of the people that are listening to this kind of understand the potential that we have here. You can hit $1 million+ That takes somebody like that's making like $60,000, $70,000 a year, which is a really good income, right? Yeah. That takes them 15 years to make what we can make in 1 year. It's amazing. So like I would rather work 1 year, make the same amount of money as somebody that takes 15 years and enjoy the other 14 years in a way that I would never be able to do if I had a 9-to-5 job. So it's about, collecting right now and saving and producing for the future. And that's why we're here. And, there's a couple strategies that I got that are a little different than most people. And, I'm here to share that. And again, we're not going to be able to cover all of that in this conversation, but I'm here down the road. If anybody wants to, reach out to me or reach out to me through you, I'm more than happy to give those recipes out.
I love that. A few more qualifying questions before we get into that. I appreciate you sharing why you buried your head in the ground. It's the reason why I asked stuff like that is because if the questions that I try to tailor is, what did Mikey need to know, 5-6 years ago? So it's really cool coming from a 4-time Golden Door Award winner, hearing it straight from your mouth of what you did. I love that you said you got, you said, I have my son to be, to account for. Like my son's like my chaperone to make sure that dad, where's daddy at? I think that's outstanding. And it's what it sounds like. And from the way that you live your life that, you're currently living your life as an example of what you would want your son to do with his life, which is, just again, the biggest motivation you could see out there. And it's obviously evident that you're working hard so that your son can see not just by your words, but by your actions. A lot of times, people grew up, whether with a father, without a father, with a parent, with parents, without parents, good, bad, whatever. I think that's something that you've, I guess let me ask you this. Did you grow up with a father?
No.
So it's clear that's something that you said, I'm going to be the change in my family. And that's why you're there for your son. Good for you, brother. Appreciate you doing that, man. That's it's really important to me. So it's one of the reasons why you and I get along so well. All right. So give me some times where you're not disciplined, Erik. What you obviously, four times, like, people are like, oh, it just must be easy for him. Give me some times, man. I want to talk about some struggles. Walk me through the last 4 years, some of the big struggle points of your career. Do I need to go get another Golden Door? Is it just, I
mean, I bury all that crap. I try not to bring it in my life. I really couldn't answer that in detail. I can just tell you that every year I have to reinvent myself. Every year I'm starting over. Sometimes it happens multiple times throughout the year. Considering myself, failure. What am I going to do now? How am I going to, get back to my numbers? How am I going to hit that Golden Door again? It's a constant reinvention, and I don't think there is a recipe for, maintaining, this high standard of production other than just putting the time in, doing the reps, and actually making an effort to plan out your strategy and to get, support from others that are in the industry and also get feedback from them and be a student. So the recipe for me is, I put myself in the shoes of a beginner, and I try to be creative and think outside the box in terms of how can we do this better? Take nuggets from other people. I was in line yesterday at PetSmart, and I was, getting some stuff for we just adopted a dog, and this lady in front of me, she heard me talking it over with the family member about, the dog and how he pisses everywhere in the house right now because he's a street dog. We had picked him up from the streets, and so he's not disciplined. So, and she was telling me, well, no, it's not the dog not being disciplined. It's just the dog's insecure and the dog's bored. And the dog has so much energy that he just freaking goes around the house pissing everywhere. So she's like, you should give the dog one of these toys, and it's like this Kong that you put like a little snack in, and they play with it for hours trying to get snacks out, and it tires the dog out, gives them, And so again, she's like, that's worked wonders for my dog. And it took me a long time to figure that out. And I was like, wow, that's a great thing. I was like, you know what? I need to get one of those because that makes perfect sense. She's like, take advantage of this. It took me a year to figure this out. You can learn from me now. And I was thinking in my head, that's kind of like what I do in solar is I listen, I learn. And this lady straight up told me, she's like, you can save a lot of time, a lot of freaking cleaning piss off the floor, and make your dog happier by getting them this toy because this toy works wonders, and learn from me. And I was like thinking in my head, I was like, that's a prime example of taking advantage of other people's advice, other people's lessons and experiences, and put them to use and not just think about it, talk about it, and say that's a good idea, but actually implement it. And right away, boom, got online, went and got the Kong. I actually saw a bunch of different, I went even got an employee that works there. I asked her for her advice. She told me all these different things that she's been through and what she's helped other customers. So not only did I take the advice from that lady, I also went and threw that same idea around other people, and I got even better advice. So we all have these great strategies. This podcast that you have, all your companies that you offer support to other sales reps through all your experience. It's like, take advantage of what we're doing here.
Preach.
Don't just listen and say, I'm going to do it my way. I mean, why? Because, you can just follow what we do and just literally step into that success immediately, because all these strategies and nuggets have been working for us. They'll work for you if you implement them. So that was a really good analogy for me yesterday. It just reminded me, okay, dude, I don't need to reinvent myself. Just keep doing what I'm doing and just get some support from others and learn maybe this other strategy, and just sit down and spend an hour on my plan and write it down again and see what I'm missing and what I can do better. So I would say that is a huge part of my success, is actually kicking back, reevaluating what I've done for the last 3 months. What are my goals, and finding that downtime to strategize and re-implement, the strategy to move forward. And that's given me the ability to not fall. And every year is better and better. This year is going to probably be even something that I have not ever experienced. We're booming already, and I see there's going to be some huge opportunities in solar. Now this is the first year that I'm out of Arizona. Now we're doing multi-state, and it's beautiful, and I love it, and it's fun. So reinventing yourself is great, but take advice and learn from others, because that's going to give you this, shortcut to success, because you're not having to go through all those trial and errors that, we've gone through to get to where we're at.
Learn from others led to 4 Golden Door Awards. Dude, Erik, man, it's like the most humble thing you could say, to say, I don't know, man. I'm just learning. I'm just a student, right? Like, you're obviously, you're not a 20-year-old where unfortunately, a lot of the kids, and man, it's destructive, bro. And I'm going to just call it out. I really don't like it because it's destructive. Everybody thinks they can be their own damn dealer and own their own, installer and sales org. And I'm going to screw everybody else. I'm going to go be my own. It's like, you've never listened to any of the billionaires, because they all said they would work for free for people for years so they can get the experience. And it's guys like you, Erik, that just encourage me, because I've done that multiple times, where when I was at Solar City, got offers of $800, $900, $1,000 a kilowatt back then in 2014, 2015, where it was like, come out to California, you could sell for $1,000 a kilowatt. Erik, we were making $55 a kilowatt at one point. It's like, it was pretty gnarly. So learn from others. Excuse me. Whew. Oh, I got to sneeze. Learning from others helps you understand that, one, you don't know everything. And I think that's just the difference between the younger 20s and the rest of us. So, dude, it's just, guys, if you didn't catch that, I need you to go back and listen, like rewind 5 minutes, re-listen to what Erik just said there. I mean, that is probably going to be the biggest nugget, other than what we're about to talk about and transition into. That is definitely the biggest nugget. And if you're looking for any attribute of a Golden Door Award winner, I've already got almost 2 pages of notes here, a page and a half of notes here. Dude, the fact that you're a student, Erik, is like the biggest. Bro, like, people are just not students. We want to flex like we know everything, but we don't know everything, Erik. And not only that, we won't even put the time in. We just want to be motivated and feel really good by Tony Robbins or Eric Thomas. And I love both of those guys. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, dude, we need the knowledge. You need explicit knowledge on how to hit a golden door. And you got around people where you were not making the most amount of money, and now you're making significantly more money because you have the experience, and you've got some really, really, really raving fans as clients. And then you're also helping people make money now too. Teach them the exact same way, the bootstrap way of how you did it. And you're making a way for people to obviously get to where you're at, and do it faster than you did it. And you're right. We have some great opportunities. You have some outstanding stuff in what you're doing. If I was still in the door-to-door space selling solar, dude, I would absolutely partner with you. And I know that you've got some strategic partnerships now with some of the guys that I work with, and I'm all for it, Eric. You're a guy that I would do business with, and that's I don't say that about very many people. All right. Okay, you said you mentioned something. Everybody knows OPM, right? Other people's money. You've leveraged and maximized OPE, other people's experiences. And we don't got to get too deep in that, but because you kind of already just said it, but I just wrote that down. Eric to get 4 golden door guys. Eric to hit 4 golden doors in a row. Leverage other people's experiences. Like, for instance, and I was like, how's he going to tie this in? But then all of a sudden you're like, the lady said, I spent years trying to know this. So if anybody ever says to you, especially someone that has experience, listen, you can learn from somebody that, has been divorced 17 times or is still married. You can get advice from them around marriage, what to do and what not to do. If anybody ever says to me, Eric, it's an absolute standard, an absolute must in my career, in my life. If someone says this book changed my life, I will immediately, if I have service, immediately buy the book and show them that I purchased the book on Amazon. Immediately, no matter what. When that lady said, I wish I would have known this years prior to, years ago, this would have saved me years. Eric, dude, why do you, let me end it here. Why do you think the younger generation wants to, it's almost like not instant gratification, but what is that? Where's that stemming from? Why do we not want it? Why can't we go through this in the slow way, which is the long lasting way?
Well, I mean, I struggle with it every day. I think we just need to be honest with ourselves and say that I want instant success as well. I'm no better than, I feel that I'm in the same shoes as everybody else. We want instant success. We want to be able to see results right away. And it's very difficult to sit down and write out this, on our own and plan out and strategize and essentially journal, where we've been, how we got here, and what do we need to do to, better our chances of, growing. And there's no solution or reasoning behind it, because I think it's just our American way of living is that we want instant success. We want a shortcut and not go through the struggles to get there. And we can. I mean, we can learn from people and we can avoid a lot of, pitfalls and struggles. But at the same time, I see it all the time. You can tell people how to do things and what to do, but sometimes people will try and not succeed right away. And then they're like, you know what, I'm just going to do it my way. Or, I'm going to watch some YouTube videos on some guy that just, is 1 month in the game in solar, and they're like an expert at knocking doors. And they're like, I'm going to show you how to knock on doors and what to say and how to say it. And I mean, it's so much data and information out there that we just get sidetracked and distracted. And I think what it comes down to is making sure that the advice that you're getting is genuine. Like the example, which is, a very simple example, is the Pet Mart lady yesterday. I could see it in her eyes that she was really nice. When I was talking, I could see her ready to talk to us, and I just ignored her and I just let her kind of really come out on her own. But I could see she was ready to tell me something, and I just didn't let her say anything. I just, because I wanted to see, if she would really make an effort to tell me something. And I saw that it was genuine. So being careful on where you get your information from is really important. You don't want to just get your information from, a rookie that, is just essentially like, wanting to be a guru in the sales industry or wanting to be a face in the market, because there's a lot of that out there. And a lot of it becomes a distraction and more of a hype, when this is a serious business. And you got to take this serious if you want to make impact on the marketplace. Because if you don't, you're going to lose this opportunity. So again, you have to make sure that you're going to take this opportunity serious. And when I say serious, that means going back to the basics. taking some time, you know, like you told me to turn my phone off. Like a part of me is like, I'm not turning my phone off, even though it's, 6, 7 in the morning. And, I don't know if anybody would call me that early on a Sunday, maybe. But, again, that was a little difficult for me to do because I'm just always on the grind. Always, that's my commitment, is always answering my phone. And so, but again, it's important to take some time away and work on yourself, work on your plan. And it's so simple and it's so effective, and it will brighten your vision and your roadmap to success if you actually just get a pen and paper, write down where you're at, why you're here, what ideas you may have to get you into a better situation, and strategies on how to get there, and then share that with other people. Share that with guys like you, Mikey. Share that with other, successful people in the industry, and get their feedback. And you'd be surprised, like that roadmap can become a gold map. And that's again, so simple but effective.
I love that. All right, I'm going to rapid fire really quick. Yeah, dude. I want to sink my teeth into those things and talk through with them. We're going to have you on another time because technically you deserve 4 shows since you hit Golden Door Fight 4 times. Plan to win. I wrote that down. I thought that was really important. I think one of the main differences of people that hit Golden Door versus don't, the top 1% versus the rest of the 99, is that they don't plan or they're not consistently planning, right? They plan. And I said this on a show the other day. It was like, the whole Mike Tyson quote, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And like, that's a very common, everyone knows that one. It's like, oh yeah, of course. Right. But like practically speaking, like Erik, like you obviously had a plan and then you got feedback. So it's not just plan, you got punched in the mouth, then you planned again, then you got feedback from other people in the industry that are credible, which is really important. And again, I know this is going to sound redundant, guys, but guess what? Mikey Lucas, the anti-guru, okay? I cannot stand these people online that talk about, oh, yeah, go invest in a real estate. Here's exactly how to do it. Go invest in door-to-door. Go do door-to-door. Here's how to do it. Go do whatever. It's like, dude, you don't even have any experience. It's like, listen to a 500-pound, personal trainer. Like, not that personal trainer doesn't necessarily discredit them, but because there obviously could be, medical reasons or whatever. But dude, I want to listen to somebody that I would want to trade places with. And that's why I don't just have one mentor. At the most, I've had 4 mentors. Right now, I've got 3 that I currently pay right now for one-on-one stuff. And it's because, I need somebody that I don't want to get advice from somebody specifically like in their marriage if I wouldn't trade places with their marriage. I don't want to get some advice from somebody with their business if I wouldn't trade places with their business. I don't want to get some, in that case. So big nugget there. The credibility thing is huge, Erik. So I appreciate that. Let me ask you this really quick. Are you going to make your are you going to introduce are you going to introduce your son to door to door?
No.
Don't even want to know why. Just want to see how that plays
out.
I
mean, he has his own little thing. He already has his own little business, and I'm guiding him. I want him to work in space. I think that's going to be the future for him.
Space, actual space.
Yeah.
Dude, that's dope.
Yeah. Oh, so he's a lot smarter than myself, and his brain works a lot different than Daddy's. So I think that he is a good candidate for a more sophisticated job.
I love that. Are you sending him to public or private school right now?
He's going to private school.
Nice. Love that. Yeah, it's funny in my 2 years of doing individual coaching. It's one of the questions I ask people. It's how I kind of pigeonhole them. I go, all right, Erik. This is prior to you hitting Golden Door. This is something I would say to you. I go, all right, man. If you've got a son, hey, man, Erickson, would you, if you had all the money in the world, would you send your son to public school, or would you send him to the best schools, best education he can get, hang around, billionaires, millionaires, kids? What would you, just out of curiosity, what would you pick? And obviously everyone goes. I haven't had, I think once in my career, and it was somebody that still was stuck in that limited mindset that they would never get the money. And that only one person in my career, I've asked that to hundreds of people, and every single person said I would send my kid to private school to get the best education. And then from there, financially, I talk about how much that's going to cost, what the investment looks like, what you need to do, and how much money we need to have in passive income to be able to pay for how much we need to invest to get passive income to pay for the tuition for your kid to have from 8 years old, elementary school, 7 years old, whatever that looks like, all the way to their 20, 25 years old, whatever that looks like. So that's something that's really cool to me. I thought I figured he was, but I just wanted to know. Okay, let me transition here really quickly.
And hold on, I just wanted to say, I know this is no disrespect to D2D or to the solar industry or the sales industry. In fact, my son is with me in many meetings, and we have several people that do work within our organization that do door to door. They have canvassing teams, and my son hears it and he wants to go knocking on doors. He thinks it's fun.
Nice.
And he loves it, and he wants to do it, and he hasn't done it yet, but he really wants to do it. And the only reason I said, well, I have him do it, and more than likely not, but because by the time he is 18, I do plan on transitioning into a different industry in the future. I don't think solar is going to be around in 10 years. So in terms of like making nice commissions like we're doing now, so I think that we will transition into a new industry, and like I threw it out there, the industry that I really am eyeballing in the future is space.
I love
so
that.
I think there's going to be a lot of business and opportunity in AI and space exploration and so forth. So that's going to be something that I'm really trying to put a bunch of seeds in his head right now, and just kind of, and I already see it working, because when I first told him about this, he was 5. He's like, I'm not going to space. I'm scared of space, and I don't want to die in space and can't breathe oxygen. He hated it. And now he's like, those little seeds are starting to grow. Now he's like, you know what? That sounds really cool. I've seen Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all these, entrepreneurs, Virgin Galactic, all these entrepreneurs are heading in that direction. So I think that door-to-door is a great thing. I think it teaches you a lot. It gives you a lot of confidence, and it makes you quick money and a great opportunity. But, I want him to get into something a little different.
That's cool. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. No, and I totally hear your heart on that. Okay, let's transition into some of the sales strategies. So this is what for the last 56 minutes what people have been waiting on. So Erik, you don't do door to door, and you've hit Golden Door Award 4 years in a row. So tell me about your strategy. How do you sell? What makes you different?
It's all relationship built marketing. So what we do is focus on 2 major areas. We focus on databases, and we focus on pop-ups. So databases come from real estate agents, loan officers, roofing companies, AC companies. So we, again, like I told you in the very beginning, you started cold calling realtors. Hey, my name's so-and-so. I have this amazing opportunity for your customers, and then a good opportunity for you. And so we've ended up, being able to get, for example, a real estate agent that has been doing real estate for, 5 years. On average, they help about, 40 to 50 homeowners a year. So we're looking at about 250 customers within their database for the last 5 years that are homeowners. Some of them have sold a house. Some of them get divorced and the house gets sold and they're not homeowners anymore. But again, potential 250 homeowners, right? So our goal is to allow this real estate agent to allow us to market that database. And we usually do it in a very simple way. We'll just shoot a video of the real estate agent saying, and I'm just going to kind of guide you through this step. And obviously it's a lot of information, but it's really simple. Sure. I'll give you this one strategy. So a real estate agent, what we'll do is we'll say, look, we're going to shoot a quick video, and we're going to blast this video via text message and email to all of your database. And then from there, we're going to follow up with phone calls to this database. So the video consists of a simple welcome call. And for example, this is the new year. So we would say, hey, this is ABC, Realty, and this is, John Smith speaking here. I had helped you purchase your home, and I just want to, let you know that I'm still in the real estate industry, and I wanted to wish you a happy new year and let you know a little bit about the market. We have a great housing market right now. People are still able to get top dollar for their home. And then we also have some really amazing listings right now that you might have interest in, or a family member or friend that has interest in. So please reach out to me if you have any real estate questions or needs. And I just want to let you know I'm still here for you, and I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to serve you as your real estate agent. In addition to that, I'm going to have Erik Salazar or one of his team members give you a call, because they're reaching out to all of my customers right now about this energy savings program through the utility company and government, incentives to help homeowners figure out what options they have for energy needs or your utility bill. So just make sure to, give them some time to see if this makes sense for you. And again, thank you so much for allowing me to be your agent. And then over. So it sounds a lot better. We'll script it out. I'm just kind of talking on, off the.
That right there will work.
Yep. So 250 blasts goes out, and then we give it about 48 hours, and we can see through our messaging app, like how many people opened up the text, how many people opened up the email. Right away, we'll target those people first. And we'll call them and say, hi, this is Erik Salazar. I just wanted to let you know that you probably got an email or a text message from your real estate agent. Oh, yeah. What a great real estate, or what a great person. I really respect them in the industry. But is right now a good time? I just wanted to reach out to you to see if we could schedule a time to come to your home and show you some options that may make sense for you. It may not, but if it does, it's going to be worth your time. And then we'll schedule the appointment, and then set that appointment right away. So, and then, obviously we can go into a whole nother area, which is completely on a different segment, but how to close it and what to do at the home. But getting that lead is everything. Leads are everything, because those are the opportunity to do reps, right? Those are your opportunity to learn, practice, get better, say things better. And then, at the end of the day, if you do all of those, you're going to close the deal. So that's one strategy, and it works great, because out of those 250 homeowners, maybe we could score like 5 appointments, but those are solid appointments, right? So you get 100 realtors. I think here in Tucson, we have like 9,000 realtors right now. Phoenix has like 40,000 realtors. So, if we can capture, less than 5% of the real estate market out there, we're looking at 1,000 potential customers that are going to be, interested and willing and able to sign up for solar. And it's a really easy market, because those 250 leads, it takes us roughly about a week to go through those. And then on a really small level, like a 2% closing ratio, we're going to get 5 to 6 appointments or 5 to 6 closes out of that. And then we do a really good job. And then that real estate agent obviously has other real estate agent friends, and they're going to be like, hey, I know another real estate agent that's interested in, doing what I just did. And I told them about it or her about it. And they're interested, can you call them? I'm like, absolutely. So we've been doing this. I just had a new person actually start like last week, but he really just got into it like 2 days ago. Brand new. I think he was a home inspector before. He's never done solar ever. And I told him, let's practice on the people that He's like, I know a couple of realtors. Within like 2 days, he got a database of over 1,500 homeowners from, I think, like 5 different real estate agents, but 1,500 homeowners, a list of their database within the last 2 years. And so on Monday, we're going to be shooting videos of all 5 real estate agents. And then again, copy, paste, do the same thing. Blast that video out to all these homeowners, and then monitor the text messages, who's responding, who's looking at it. And then obviously, setting the appointments. That is a really effective approach. especially right now. There's ups and downs. There's times real estate agents are so darn busy and they're making so much money that they don't have time for, us solar guys unless we come in through a good referral source and they actually give us the time because of who we were referred by. But right now, real estate agents are not making money like they used to. Just interest rates have skyrocketed. Housing market's kind of slowing down a little. So right now, they're in need of extra income and they're in need of doing something with their time. And what are they going to do with that database? Homeowners aren't selling right now because pricing isn't really there. Interest rates are too high. So they're holding on to everything because they can't afford to go buy another home and get a high interest rate and pay, $1,500, $2,000 more a month for the same square footage. So people are holding on to stuff. So real estate agents really can't do anything with that database that they used to be able to market. Hey, you want to buy another house? You want to sell your house? And they're not able to do it in the way they used to be able to do it. So it's a great opportunity and a great time right now to be able to reach out to these real estate agents and loan officers and capture those databases.
Dude, I love that. I got some follow-up questions on that because I do the same thing. I don't do it exactly how you do it, but I built a 52.6% referral business based off of pure frustration. Well, that's not the reason why exactly I did it, but I was pretty freaking frustrated. So I'm sure you as well, obviously, have lost millions of dollars in commissions because of real estate agents crapping on solar.
I've never had that, Mikey. Honestly,
dude.
Not even once, dude. Not even once.
Really?
I've never, ever had a real estate agent crap on it. I had real estate agents talk shit about leases. I have told homeowners do not sign a lease because back in the day, Solar City's leases, or some of them, didn't transfer to the new buyers. I think we've got over that. That's like 4 or 5 years ago. I've not seen that happen recently, but I have had real estate agents, that aren't working with us, but maybe they're related to the homeowner. They'll be like, make sure there's no liens on the property. Make sure that there's no escalators on the lease if we're doing a lease. And also, make sure that you maybe qualify for the tax credit. Those are like the three main things. So we don't put liens. We don't sell escalators, and we don't, sell somebody a system that doesn't qualify for the tax credit. Obviously, they need to talk to their tax advisor about that, but we don't push in those directions. So don't have those issues.
So let me. I've lost, I think it was calculated just under $3 million in commissions. And that's obviously like me, inflating my commissions of like the most I could have ever made. Cause obviously, I mean, I'm you as well, probably. I've paid for a couple of homeowners to go solar, one, including my mom. I think I paid like $2,000 for her to go solar once.
Nice.
She's a three-time repeat buyer.
Nice.
She's the number 2 individual real estate agent out of Las Vegas, and she's actually was a huge like lead source. So I've used my mom as a lead source, and she's given me tons of leads. But anyways, the question, or like the comment that I had on that was, I've lost a lot of money because of real estate agents, and it's not because anything other than the truth that what you just said is still the reality. It's just that they trusted their, oh gosh, I'm not even gonna say it. I have to say it offline. I don't want it to be on the internet. They trust their real estate agent. They trust their real estate agent rather than people that know me know exactly what I'm talking about. They trust their real estate agent.
It happens.
More than they trust me.
Just move on.
Yeah. So let me ask you this.
And then those people, just like anything else, I can tell you that I have customers. It hasn't happened to me in a while, but I've had customers that have gone, 3 months with me through this whole solar process. And the day of installation, we knock on their door after they confirmed the install date, and they're like, "Hey, I don't want solar anymore." So that's even harder of a hit than somebody that just signed up and cancels. So I mean, you're going to get some really shitty experiences, and it comes with the game. But again, our job is just like anything else. We're literally, fire extinguishers. Sometimes our job isn't just getting new business and creating new sales. It's also maintaining our current sales. Trying to save deals. making sure that, we're there at the shittiest moment of the deal where they're like, I don't want it no more. I heard, bad reviews, or I've heard, bad experiences, or I'm moving, or I'm, getting divorced, and my husband is signed up and I didn't sign up for this, and he's leaving, I'm keeping the house. And how do we save this deal? Right. So you're going to go through those. And you're going to go through a lot of other weird situations, but the goal is to find a solution. At the end of the day, you're a problem solver, you're a solution maker. And if you practice and work on those things, the sky's the limit in this industry for you.
I love that. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah. And that's what I was leading to, was that, out of necessity of losing all these deals, I lost over my career. It was like less than $3 million, but it was in the $2 million range. What I lost in commissions to real estate agents that didn't know what the heck they're talking about. So I said, all right, it's cool. Public enemy number one is real estate agents. So instead of me saying, I hate real estate agents, real estate agents are idiots, I would say, you know what? Maybe they just don't know. And what I did was I actually would go and do lunch and learns with real estate agents, and I would explain to them what solar is. And here's the kicker. Here's exactly what I would say. I would say, hey, hey, Eric, you're at Century 21, Berkshire Hathaway, whatever, right? Hey, Eric, my name is Mikey Lucas. I've been doing solar now for 10 years, for a decade. And, we understand that, there might be some differences, and differences of opinions, differences of companies that are, people are with the whole solar thing and the real estate thing. Right. So, whether you like it or not, we're going to be putting up solar panels. So the best thing for you to do, is to have somebody like me that's an expert in my field, that knows everything about every single panel, every single racking system, every single inverter, every single lending company, every single leasing company, every single power purchase agreement company. Somebody like me in your corner that I can send out one of my technicians and actually look at the house for you. That way I can tell you whether or not there's a good deal and bad deal in solar. And I can tell you and help your credibility and your reputation with your clients to know whether or not they want to buy that house or not. Eric, there hasn't been one time that I've either gone out to the house or sent out one of my technicians to the house that the house was bad, the system was bad. Obviously, if there was an issue, we were able to quickly fix the issue for them and assist them in that, and then start planting seeds. Now, Eric, at that point, when we were able to serve first, then the real estate agents knew that we were in their pocket. So then what happened then, Eric, when their homeowners were moving in from California to Las Vegas? Obviously, they were like, hey, we want solar. Who's their solar guy? Mikey Lucas. I still get referrals today, bro, from that.
Yeah, so those are winning referrals, because, they're constantly in the face of other homeowners, future homeowners. So, yeah, it's a huge strategy. And I wish more solar professionals would take advantage of other industries that work with homeowners as well. And instead of you trying to create your own, industry of just going straight after the homeowners, which is amazing and it works, or you can go after one person that has like 250 homeowners on their database, and they already have a relationship and an experience with that homeowner. And then also, if they give you permission to market their database, they're not going to hate on you because that's their realtor. Right. Exactly. So it's a win-win.
Let me ask you this then, qualifying question on that, then we can go over to the pop-ups. But because I know people are going to ask this, they're going to put in the comments below, well, Eric, what do you pay them? Is it $2,000 to $3,000? Like, from where I come from, Solar City, we would give $250, dude. Like, I don't know why people are going broke or trying to charge a customer more to rob Peter to pay Paul kind of thing. So what in your case, explain to me like the financials around that. Like, what are you giving to are you doing like a every 5 we give you an extra whatever, every 10, in the referral side of it there, your partners.
No, I understand the question. Yeah. So what we do is different. Some real estate agents are like, I cannot take money from you if there's a RESPA violation, which is baloney. We're not regulated by state banking, nor do we have any type of RESPA rules regulating our industry. So they can earn a commission, just like if they went and got a part-time job at In-N-Out Burger. They can do that. Just because they're a real estate agent doesn't mean they can't have another job. So we don't really want to push people that are like, hey, I don't want any money from you. We're like, great. Let us do a really good job for your homeowner, and maybe we'll pass that discount on to your homeowner by, paying 6 months worth of their solar payments or 1 year worth of their solar payments on your behalf. And they're like, that sounds great. Yeah. Wow. So we'll do that. Sometimes we'll also, do.
So the real estate agent in that case pays for 6 months. How in the world would that homeowner not be happy with their real estate agent? And that, at the end of the day, that's your biggest customer is your real estate agents. That is outstanding.
Yeah. Once an agent gets a taste of us, though, and I mean, I've seen this happen like clockwork. I mean, once the first deal happens, second deal happens, and they see that we're not like the, real estate police. They're usually looking for a little bit of cash. So it comes up. I remember you mentioned this and mentioned that. I'm like, I knew it's coming. So, it varies, Mikey. I don't know. We don't have a set number. It's all negotiable. I would say it starts off around $500. Yeah. I think the most I've ever paid is a couple of my homies. In fact, my homie that got me in this game, he still kicks deals to me, and he probably makes the most out of any other realtor. Awesome. Maybe at $300-400 a kilowatt. And I just hook him up out of love just because, he's the one that got me, and it's nice to cut him fat checks.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'll send you deals for $300-400 a kilowatt.
All right, let's sign a contract right now. I'm ready.
Let's go, dude. Send it over.
Marketing agreement.
Let's go. I love that. Actually, question on that. Do you do? Because obviously you have to 1099 the agents. Just quickly walk through that. Are you 1099ing them? Like do you have an agreement, or what do you do there?
Oh yeah, we have a marketing agreement. So we hired a law firm, got a standard real estate loan officer marketing agreement. It just lays out the basic principles of the relationship. Job description on our end, on their end, because since they're earning income, they're going to show that they're actually working for it. It's not just some like little lead, pass transfer. And then we also have them sign a W-9 form, and we obviously issue a 1099 at the end of the year.
I love that. Yeah, God, you're above board. I love that. A lot of unfortunately, this is where I come in.
That's not how we started though, Mikey. We didn't start that way. Obviously it was just boom, cash, that's what they wanted, and we're willing to pay taxes on that money, and we'll eat it, but now that we've grown and gotten a little bit more professional, and we're constantly improving our methods and standards, but we're pretty much consistent with all of our real estate agents and loan officers. Now we're, requiring W-9 forms, marketing agreements, and so forth. We cover all the costs, by the way. So there's no out-of-pocket cost for like the filming crew to go and film the real estate agent, the editing of the videos.
You have a full-blown. I thought you're talking about like with a freaking cell phone. You're talking about a full-blown movie.
It's super professional.
So smart. Wow.
Yeah, that just shows credibility to the real estate agent. Wow. I mean, they're giving us like 5 years worth of their database. We're not here to play. We're here to take it serious.
Wow. Good for you, Eric. That is outstanding, dude. Man. Okay. Dude, that's badass. I've got I want to touch on that really quick, but I've got other lead sources from not just real estate agents, but you said roofers and AC guys. I have the same thing, where I've had strategic partnerships with people like that as well in my database. I've got a pool guy that runs a very successful pool. His name's Jared out of Vegas, Jared Lane. And he's a dear friend of mine. He's in my wedding. Dude's outstanding. And that dude, nice. I've shared business with him. He shared business with me. And the dude just like has like an ear. He's like, funny enough, he's like deaf in one ear, like half deaf in one ear, but he's got an ear. So like if he like hears somebody like, oh, like energy efficiency pool pumps, why don't you call Mikey, get some solar, right? Like he's setting me deals. And because he's with homeowners, and again, these people's companies rely based on their subscription-based model of you buy your house, then you sell your house through me. I'm your agent. The pool, same thing. Monthly subscription to work on your pools, yearly subscriptions to work on your AC units, like that kind of roofers. Like, hey man, if my roof start leaking, like I got to call my guy. They have databases, but the key here is that you have to be credible, and that's one of the good things about you, Eric. Is these guys. first of all, you're not going to get everybody that's going to say yes to you. But I think the main thing that on my side, what I've noticed is that because I can go to them and not say, I look at you like a nice juicy piece of steak, like the shark in Finding Nemo, and you're not a big, juicy piece of steak, or tofu, whatever, if you're vegan. You are somebody that I want to add value to. So I add value back to them by offering, hey, look, you're going to sell these houses with or without you liking solar. You're going to run into these. You might as well have me as your professional in your Rolodex. Do you not have a landscaper? Do you not have a painter? Do you not have a welder? Do you not have a locksmith guy? Like, you have all these guys. I'm the guy that's the influence in this industry, in this city. This is where I'm from, blah, 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 whatever. So
I love it. I love that. Yeah, that's a great approach.
Yeah. Awesome. Any final words on the database stuff before we switch over to these pop-ups?
Yeah, you kind of hit something that just made me think again right now on what you were just saying. You're going to have agents that say no. And it's the same thing as you knocking on doors. Most people in this industry knock on doors, they canvas, they're getting rejected every single minute, every single day. And then we get lucky. We have that homeowner that says, you know what, I'm so glad you knocked on my door. I've been wanting solar. I just don't know where to ask. I just didn't know, or I just haven't had time, but now I have some time. Let's look into this. So you're going to get lucky. And I call that luck. It's opportunity, that, is there for you, and you're going to have that same type of experience with what I'm talking about. You're going to have people that say, nope, not interested. This is illegal, all kinds of crazy crap. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a real estate agent that says, you know what, I'm really glad that I met you. I'm really glad that you're helping my customers. I needed that little extra income right now that I'm earning. I'm not just getting under the table. I'm actually earning it, and you can change other people's lives that way. And you can also grow your business very successfully and pretty fast that way. So you consider rejection a part of your job, like you already do, because if you're knocking on doors, you're a badass in my mind. And so being able to just take that same type of approach and put it towards, other areas is going to just give you that success.
I love that. Yeah. Another thing and then we'll end it there, but another thing I tell real estate agents, and I go, look, with your house that you sold to your $1 million client, or your beautiful client that you love and that, is going to go with you forever, like it or not, my team and the other 20 teams that are here are going to be approaching your homeowner and trying to put solar panels on the roof. Now you might be able to tell them no, but at the same time, if they're convinced by somebody like me or one of my team members how the benefits of solar, they're going to be putting solar in their house. So would you rather it be through somebody that you do not know, that's not an expert in the field, that's not a local, that's not here, boots on ground, and that's not going to stand up for you when you're trying to sell the house and you got to do the transfer. It's a one call, two pieces of paperwork, one call, but they don't want to have to do that. So would you rather have somebody like me that's actually going to help you through that process, going to be there when I have my team that's going to help you through that? Or would you just maybe call customer services some random company, even if it's a big company, Sunrun, whatever? Like, what would you rather have?
That's a no-brainer, obviously.
Right. So and it's, again, obviously my goal, and this is what I always tell the real estate agents, I always say, obviously my goal is that you can is to never put something on their house that you can't resell this house. My goal is so that you continue to get repeat customers, so that you obviously then in turn can trust me and then continue to send people to me. Because like I said, with or without you, we're going to be selling a lot of the homeowners putting solar panels on these homes. So again, I would rather it be where, you have somebody that's trustworthy, that's in your corner. Okay. Awesome. Tell me about these pop-ups, dude. Because I used to do retail, and just, you don't got to give all the secrets away, but just tell me some stuff about it. I would say this. I used to do a lot of farmers markets. So if you don't want to tell the super secrets here, because I know you got some good ones, but I used to do farmers markets. So that's like a pop-up.
Yeah. We have farmers markets. We have 3 of them going on today. Pop-ups essentially is just a booth, right? It's like, where do people congregate? Where do they shop? And trying to target, homeowners versus renters. So, I don't know if you've ever seen, I'll give you 2 examples. You probably have seen, a place that gets like, maybe like a lot of renters, like a 99-cent store or something like that. I wouldn't want to put a booth there because more than likely I'm going to be targeting like renters, not too many homeowners, even though a lot of homeowners go there. I love that store. But you're going to go to, that's going to be a lot of discounters, right? Versus, having your booth like at a Home Depot, like, Sunrun does.
Yeah.
Where you're going to have a lot of homeowners that are going to be, a little bit more sophisticated, spending a little bit more money, or their mindset is in that area of like, okay, it's going to be a lot more expensive to buy a light bulb here for $4 versus $1 at the dollar store, right?
Yeah.
So, making sure that you put your booth in a location where you're going to have that target market or that target audience. A pop-up is just the word of like being able to set up a booth instantly. It's not like this, like, fixed location. So we do them on many different types of areas. So we'll do them we have a pop-up in real estate offices, where, there'll be like a day where, there'll be a huge training and you got like 50, 60 agents coming in that day to like, do their quarterly training. So we'll have a person there all day, just talking, answering questions. We'll have a pop-up, like there's a big rodeo coming up. We have pop-ups at all the home shows. Even though the home shows I'm not a big fan of anymore, even though a lot of people on our team like them because there's like 20 other solar companies there. And it's like,
yeah, they used to be really good.
Something different. Yeah.
When we were the only company there, it was a really good. And
now everybody realized that that's a brilliant idea. So like 20 people picking from the same tree, Yeah. So, I mean, you're going to get fruit. Don't get me wrong. Do it. Sure. I mean, it's better than not doing it. But there's other areas, of success. And so pop-ups for us are essentially it's a booth, that we can pop up really quick and put somebody behind it and essentially pass out literature, pass out educational materials, schedule appointments, and be able to educate the community on solar and how it works and see if it makes sense for them.
I love that, dude. I appreciate you sharing that. That's a really, really awesome nugget right there, dude. Nice, good, really good secret. I already know I'm going to get people that are going to ask me for Erik. Can we get Erik's handouts and like that? So if you'd be willing to offer those, I'd love to.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Get one of those or what? Just because I know people are going to ask for it, and I've got some materials too. I can share obviously what I have with you. There was one city that I did so well in Vegas. And I just was like, dude, I think I'm going to move into this freaking community. I did a farmer's market in that community for like a couple of years. And it was like, I was sold that I was like, I'm going to move. I love these people here.
Oh, there's pockets, man. There's pockets of just customers that are just galore. We were in Illinois a couple of months ago. And I was mind blown on how nice the people are and how willing and capable. Because I'm here in Arizona. I mean, we're I go to homeowners and they're like, I got like 5 calls today alone on solar. I had like 10 people knock on my door this year asking me to sign. I mean, it's super competitive over here on a whole nother level. And you go into these new markets, it's like that same type of issue, the same type of community that you're talking about, where people are just receptive, they're nice, they're super polite, they've never even heard about it. So there's a lot of that out there. This solar industry is just beautiful. It's amazing. The opportunity is here for everyone. Even if you're not selling solar, maybe you might be selling alarms, you might be selling, roofing, doing these other industries that are just as amazing as solar. You can dip into solar as well. It's not that hard. And it's, just takes, just get some advice from podcasts like the ones that you share on your website, and you can easily turn this into a business.
100%. What are, let me ask you this. Can you give me like a word track, something that you say? Cause I guess I want to say the hard part was like, you can set up, cause I'm trying to get like implementable stuff here. So like, you could set up a booth and have handouts and have like QR codes and have like a freaking, bean sack, throwing contest to get a free lollipop or whatever. But what are some of your strategies? Like what are some of the things that you guys do at the booths? Like, is it, how do you get people to want to come to you? Because obviously in Arizona, if you have a farmer's market in Arizona, people are like, yeah, we get it. We know solar. We're good. So what's one or two of the things that you do? Because I can share some stuff that I do with you as well.
Yeah, we keep it simple. I mean, you and I were talking about before this podcast, we were talking about, YouTube. Like, there's a dime a dozen people telling you what to say at the door and how to do it and how to be funny and how to, trick the customer or act like you're busy and you hurry up and you set the appointment and all these different strategies. And, at the end of the day, we just tell people to just be themselves. I mean, at the end of the day, homeowners are tired of gimmicks. They're tired of stupid little, like, throw the dart, pop a balloon, and win a prize. Like, we're not really doing that. That's not our model. That's not our strategy. Our strategy is to just be a real person. Show them if you suck at talking, who cares? At least you're trying. People will listen to you. People will give you the time of day if you're just being real, being yourself. Making mistakes, who cares? Fumble on your words, who cares? Not know the answer to a question, who cares? But just make an effort to show that homeowner, that potential customer, that you're really there to do your job, whether it's setting appointments, going to the home, closing the appointment, whatever it may be. Just be yourself. Don't come up with these gimmicks. And if you want to, go ahead. That's just not our strategy. It's never worked for us. We tend to kind of get the wrong customer when we do that. And we're in it, to be real with that customer, where when we're at their house, we're the same person that we were at that booth. We're not this, snake oil salesperson. That's not our strategy.
I love that. I think one of the strategies and I appreciate you sharing that. And I totally agree. I want people buy from Mikey Lucas because they want Mikey Lucas. So I do the same thing, where I'm not some different person at the booths or on the door than I am, in their house. I'm the same exact person, minus like the first 10 seconds of my door approach. Other than that, in a booth, it's definitely they see me coming at their door. For me, the first 10 seconds is very different. Then it's Mikey Lucas. But the first 10 seconds on a door, I teach the we call the Confucius pitch. I teach the first 10 seconds or first 8 seconds. You're something else. But at a booth, it's completely different. Like, if you're not approachable at that point, like they're coming to you. It's kind of like a car dealership, right? Like, they're coming to you. Those are ups, right? Like, they're coming to you. If you don't look approachable, then they're not going to come up to you anyway in the first place. One of the things, I guess, a tip that I can say that I learned at farmers markets was don't burn any bridges, because those people were going to shop, especially if they're in that neighborhood. Like, they're going to shop at that farmers market once or twice a month, once or twice every 6 months, once or twice a year. So like, I've had people where I'm just building relationships with. Some people I go right off the bat. I call it the 4 buckets, right? Hey man, I'm Eric. Hey man, Eric, good to meet you. You learn about the Nevada, whatever, the Texas solar program or whatever, whatever I'm saying. And I go, yeah, I've actually was looking at it yesterday. I was talking about it with my wife, and whatever, we were talking about going solar, but yeah, we've worked with, about 15 of your neighbors. I'm here in this community. Would love to, the last week, would love to come out and just give you an estimate, see if it's even going to be a good fit or not. If it's not, good thing is we'll be here. You could be friends, and beautiful dog, whatever. My dog's name is Charlie, whatever too. So don't necessarily go in for the kill right off the bat, which is something that's super important, because those people are going to be there. And if you turn them off, I've literally seen people do that with the sales guys and the sales girls that I've had there. They'll walk around you instead of they'll completely avoid you. You definitely don't want to burn bridges, especially in the farmers markets like that, because people shop there. They shop there. That's what they look forward to. People my wife and I were the first thing we did when we moved to Houston was, let's look up all the farmers markets. Let's go look. Those are people they're at work. Those people that are working the farmers market booths, they're at work. They live here. So, that's why I look at it, because I was behind the desk quite a few times. But yeah, I think that's really awesome, dude. I love that, home shows and Earth Show and all the different things that your city offers. You should absolutely be trying to put up a booth at. One thing that's also worked for me was always, for me, I was usually always at the booths, but a lot of times what I noticed was that I would like to hire girls to work the booths. The girls tend to be a little bit more approachable. But I mean, I don't want to say I was aggressive, but I was very strategic with how I would talk to people at the booths. So I was like, always getting into conversations. I didn't let somebody walk by and not at least compliment their shoes or their shirt or their dog or whatever. Right. So I was like, oh, how long you've been a Georgia fan forever? Good job this year. Congrats. If I saw somebody, for instance, if I saw somebody wearing a Houston Astros jersey or hat or something like that, or I saw it on their keychain, I'd be like, hey man, how's it feel to be a world champion? Dude, awesome, bro. You live around here? Cool, man. Right, man. Cool, man. Have a great day. And guess what? Especially if I see them walking in, like you don't want to necessarily hit them, because if they're walking in from this way, you saw them park their car, they have to walk back out that way. So that was something that I would teach all my people to do the same thing. It's like, dude, be aware of your surroundings. And that worked for us really, really well. Because especially when it's like, all right, guys, it's like, dude, when I was in Thailand, we went to the mall and it was like haggling like crazy, bro. Like everyone's like, no. And I always tell the story about, so yeah, in Thailand, it was really haggling like crazy in the malls. Like it was a 5-story mall, but I always tell people it's the same thing on doors, where it's like my cousins in the middle of the mall selling lotions and potions from the Dead Sea. Like, dude, people have those, what's called an automatic response mechanism that shuts you down right off the bat. Compliment them. Say you like their hair. Hey, where do you get your eye? My sister does is a esthetician or whatever that is. She does eyelashes and stuff like that. I was like, hey, where do you get? I mean, that's what I've been saying now because it's in my life. I'm like, hey, where do you get your eyelashes? What it's called, eyelashes, right? Yeah. Where do you get your eyelashes? I almost say eyebrows. Where do you get your eyelashes done at? No way. And a lot of times I can tell that they got them out of the package, but I'm like, where did you get them done? Well, I do them myself. No way. Are you serious? My sister does them. Dude, those look really good. And even if I'm not, even if I can tell they're out of a box, like I still will compliment them, because people at the end of the day want to be complimented. And that's one way to at least break the ice, and anyways, that's I appreciate
100%. Everything you said is exactly, key to, getting more people to come and approach you.
Yeah.
Again, compliments are amazing. Everybody loves to be complimented. And it's a nice gesture, and it also makes you feel good as well. So it's a great strategy.
I love that. Well, cool, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. You've given out some super nuggets, some super secrets, dude. As a 4-time Golden Door Award winner, you're a Platinum Golden Door Award winner. Next year, or rather this year, you'll be on stage again. You plan on being on stage again this year, right? You're still selling?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm in it till Uncle Sam says no more tax credits, buddy.
I love that. So good. You'll be I'm going to call it a diamond. You're going to be a diamond Golden Door Award winner this year, because 5 years in a row, I'm going to tell Sam he needs to make a diamond, because I don't know. I guess maybe it's never happened before. I know there's a couple people that have done 3 or 4 as well. But I guess, I don't know. I guess Michael O'Donnell technically. So
Mike and Troy they have a year ahead of us. Yeah.
Yeah. So they got
on their 5th year.
Awesome. Well, cool. Erik, where can people find you at, dude? Because I know that people are going to want to ask you questions, and I want to connect you with the industry. And where can people find you at?
Yeah, the best way is to send me an email. My email is Salazar, so that's ESALAZAR at pwramerica.com. Emails are great. Therefore, I can, usually fit a good conversation in an email, and I can get to you in a timely manner. And then also, we're at a lot of different events, or, any event that you're a part of, we're going to be at Mikey. So come to your events, check us out there. And, I really appreciate you making time to invite me to your show. This show has been a great experience for me as well, just to be able to dig in deep. Sometimes, I forget my past and my experiences and how I'm here, and everything that I have now is from solar. I was looking outside the other day and I'm like, wow, this is all from solar. Yeah. And I was like, how did solar build this fence, and how does solar build this car? And, it's amazing. It's beautiful. So I encourage everybody, whether it's solar or, pest control or alarms or roofing, any of these door-to-door industries that are, kind of all under the same family tree. I encourage you to think outside the box. Door knocking is great. It's amazing. It's your bread and butter. But there's also other door knocking strategies with, real estate agents, loan officers, tax advisors, all these other industries that work with homeowners just like you that have databases full of phone numbers and emails and contact data for you to mine and to reach out to, and also come with a warm lead from whoever was helping them in the past. And those types of strategies can take you to that next level.
I love that, dude. I love that. You're connected on Facebook, obviously, as well. Cool if we reach out to you on Facebook and maybe LinkedIn too.
Yep.
Awesome, brother. Cool. Any final words for the Golden Door Award winners out there?
Yeah, again, if and when you're ready, just remember that you take some time and map out your strategy, your plan, and your time to be able to put towards your efforts towards going to this Golden Door. It's an easy path. It really is. So many people can do it. I see so many people that I work with that they just don't make the time to write out and plan out their strategy and their reasoning behind that strategy, and getting support, reaching out to other people like you, Mikey, for references and sources of strategy and feedback. And if you put that little bit of effort, that investment in yourself in the beginning, your ride is going to be a lot smoother. And I heard some, I think it was like Jim Rohn the other day. I was at the gym and he was like, if you're getting in a boat and you got to sail from point A to point B, you're not just going to get in the boat and freaking navigate like the ocean without having a map and following a plan. Or if you don't, you're going to end up adrift like somewhere where you don't want to be. So it's the same thing with this job. You have to think of it as a map, and like you're going to get from point A to point B. And how are you going to do that? What's the best way to get there? So it's really simple, but it takes an effort to really sit down and map it out. So invest some time in yourself, invest some time in your strategy. And if you do that, you're going to find yourself in a lot better situation.
I love that. I love that, Eric. Appreciate you, brother. All right, my boy. Take it easy. God bless you. And appreciate your time here, man. All right.